just been up to Mum's in Wollongong, and she was telling me a story about her early days in Glasgow in the tenements, living in Pollokshaws, in Tracy Street, Pollokshaws. And I've heard a little bit of this story before, but Mum, when she was little, and as she grew up, the neighbour across the hallway, they lived in a tenement building, 4 down, 4 up, and single ends. And the neighbour across the hall, the front door directly across the little hallway, was Mrs. Jordan, Bessie Jordan. And the story goes, she was a lovely lady, and the family had a lot to do with them. And Mum grew up playing with her children. She had 3 children, and she was a great lady. Everybody knew her business. She didn't have her husband. Her husband had left when the children were young, and she never saw or heard of him again at that stage. He'd been gone forever, and never a word, never a letter, never anything. He just walked out the door one time, and that was it. They never saw him again. And but she was a marvelous lady, very kind. But the whole tenement used to know her business. I imagine her slightly like a very nice Mrs. Bouquet. The whole place would know the business. She'd call out. She wouldn't just call out to the kids to come in for dinner. It would be, come in for dinner, Andrew, come in for dinner, Jamie. It's, we're having mash and peas and corned beef, and come in and sit at your place, and we've got the good china out and all that sort of thing. So everybody knew where they were going, what they were doing, what they were wearing. It was broadcast, and everybody used to have a bit of a laugh. But she was a lovely lady. Anyway, the story goes that she brought up her 3 children all by herself back in those days, back through the war and after the war and all that. They're really tough times. And then one day, like, she'd never seen her husband for years and years. There was a knock on the door, and he was her husband at the door. And of course, she was shocked or surprised or whatever, and he just said, "Are you glad to see me, Bessie?" And a neighbour witnessed this, and I guess she must have paused for a second, I suppose, and then she just said, "Yes, Jimmy, I am." And they got together again, and that was it. And I just found that a really, she must have been a really forgiving sort of person with a big heart. And but I think about the guy too, Jimmy. His name was Jimmy Jordan, and what he must have been thinking as he was walking up that street to the house to knock on the door. And I just think it's a marvelous little story. Anyway, I've written a song, as I do, and this is it. I've been away for far too long. I took a guitar and a bag of song. I travel far, I travel wide. A ship is sailing on the evening tide. And Bessie Jordan, you were good to me. You loved me once unselfishly. I'll find your street, I'll knock on your door. If you're glad to see me, I'll roam no more. If you're glad to see me, I'll roam no more. You loved me back when I was young. My heart was foolish to follow the sun, searching for something I just couldn't find. I squandered my money and I wasted my time. once I was handsome, or so they say, but age has taken my good looks away. My body's broken, my strength is gone. Bessie Jordan, I did you wrong. And Bessie Jordan, you were good to me. You gave your love unselfishly. I'll find your street, I'll knock on your door. If you're glad to see me, I'll roam no more. If you're glad to see me, I'll roam no more. Now life is a romance and a tragedy. I don't deserve to have you wait for me. But if you smile when you open the door, I'll stay forever and I'll roam no more. Yes, I'll stay forever and I'll roam no more. Because Bessie Jordan, you were good to me. You gave your love unselfishly. I'll find your street, I'll knock on your door. If you're glad to see me, I'll roam no more. If you're glad to see me, I'll roam no more. Bessie Jordan, you were good to me. You gave your love unselfishly. I'll find your street, I'll knock on your door. If you're glad to see me, I'll roam no more. If you're glad to see me, I'll roam